Indriya Artha, sense gratification, Prasangena, in the matter of indulging, Parityakta, disregarding, Para-Atmanaha, knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Until now, we have simply wasted so much of our time in sense gratification, neglecting to cultivate knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Can you repeat? Until now, we have simply wasted so much of our time in sense gratification, neglecting to cultivate knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Human life is not meant to be wasted like that of the animals in sense gratificatory activities. Animals always engage in sense gratification, eating, sleeping, hearing and mating. But that is not the engagement of the human being. Although, because of the material body, there is need of sense gratification according to a regulative principle. So, in effect, Devahuti said to her husband, so far we have these daughters and we have enjoyed material life in the aerial mansion, traveling all over the universe. These boons have come by your grace, but they have all been for sense gratification. Now, there must be something for my spiritual advancement. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mokam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Dina Karanam. So Devahuti, the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, being a great princess, she chose to marry Karda Muni, a Muni, an ascetic living in the forest in a small, simple hermitage. And then, as we have seen in the previous verses and the previous chapter, Devahuti served her husband very immediately. She gave up all her royal, whatever opulences she had as a princess. As a princess, she would have had many maid servants to take care of all her requirements. She would have had valuable jewelry, wonderful, beautiful clothing, all that she gave up. And she accepted very simple clothing to suit the standard of her husband, who was a hermit living in a small, very frugal kind of atmosphere. So, having served her husband for a long time, Karda Muni became compassionate upon his wife, and he wanted to bestow Krishna consciousness upon her. But she wanted that first she should have children, after which she could be blessed with Krishna consciousness. So, Karda Muni, respecting Devahuti's preference, he created by his yogic power a great aeroplane which did not need any kind of petrol to run. It was running on the will. The fuel for the aeroplane was the will of Karda Muni. Wherever he wanted, the plane would fly. And as soon as you sat in the plane, you did not have to wear your seat belt, and then go through all the mandatory announcements, emergency exit, how to open, what happens if there is a pressure loss in the cabin, etc., etc. All those things were not needed. In fact, modern day aeroplanes, they call it cattle class, the economy class. Like cattle are crowded, like the people are crowded in. You have hardly space to sit in those chairs, especially for a guy who is tall like me. It's a real problem. Your knee will be hitting the front seat, and suppose the front seat fellow, he pushes back his seat, you are finished. Of course, Indians by and large, they are all less than 6 feet tall, so it's not a major problem. So that's how economization, increasing the number of seats, the aircraft industry also wants to make money. So they do all these things. But in Karda Muni's aircraft, it was not like that. It was filled with palaces, beautiful ponds, filled with swans, and many hundreds of maid servants to take care of Devahuti. So it was practically like a flying city. And in this, the characteristic of this aeroplane was that it was not flying only from one city to another city within India, not even from India to America. It was carrying out intergalactic travel. It was traveling all over the universe to different planets in all the Svargalokas. You can imagine that. No visa, no passport, no astronauts costume, nothing was required. It was taking them everywhere, wherever they wanted. This was the aerial mansion referred to by Srila Prabhupada in the book. Such a wonderful, unimaginable aircraft was created by the yogic power, by the mystic power of Karda Muni. And so like this, Devahuti was restored to her original glory, in fact even greater opulence than she enjoyed as a princess. And then after enjoying like this for many years, finally she gave birth to 9 daughters. And as soon as the daughters were born, Karda Muni was preparing to take sannyas and leave the home. The moment Devahuti saw that Karda Muni, her husband, is leaving home, in the previous 2 verses, she started submitting her requests to Karda Muni. The first thing she said was to Karda Muni that, "Oh my Lord, before you go to the forest, you have to give me abhaya, freedom from fear, freedom from bhaya." And in the previous verse, she said, "Kastin me syan vishokaya," you have to give me freedom from shoka, lamentation, distress. And today's verse, she is saying that so much of our time has been lost in sense gratification that I have neglected to cultivate knowledge of the Supreme Lord. So she is asking her husband for knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Meaning, she wants freedom from moha, illusion. Until now, she was enjoying material life in the illusion, in the moha, that I am a woman, this is my husband, I am his wife, these are my children, this is my home, this is my ashrama, etc. So this was the illusion she was in. And like we discussed in the previous verse, that the Bhagavatam in the very beginning has said, "Yasyamai Shuyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktir Utpadyate Pumsaha Shoka Moha Bhayapaha." If anyone engages in devotional service to Krishna simply by hearing about the pastimes of Krishna, then the result will be that Bhaktir Utpadyate, in the heart, Bhakti, love for Krishna, will be awakened, and the concomitant result of such awakening of Bhakti within the heart, devotional service within the heart, is Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. Shoka, Moha and Bhaya, distress or lamentation, illusion and fear, which are prime characteristics of this material world, are immediately vanquished. So, Devahuti's question to her husband is also, although Devahuti is also not any less intelligent person, she is also daughter of Swayambhu Manu, so she is also very intelligent. She is saying, all this sense gratification that I had, the aerial mansion, all these opulences, they are all actually not the reality. It's all an illusion. So you have to give me freedom from Shoka, Moha and Saya. She is requesting her husband because after all, she has served her husband menially for so many years. So she has the right to ask from her husband. And her husband is also very qualified. He is a person who did tapasya and had direct darshan of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu personally appeared in front of Karda Muni. So she knew that Karda Muni was qualified and capable of giving bhakti. And so therefore this was her prayer. Now we can see in the life of Devahuti how one's attachment to family life is actually the cause of illusion. In the Bhagavatam, in the Srimad-Bhagavatam, it is said, Pumsam Sriyam Miduri Bhavametam Tayor Midho Hriday Granthim Ahuhu. This attraction, this sex attraction between man and woman, Pumsam Sriyam, man and woman, they get attracted to each other. Of course, we are talking of the majority. Nowadays, we have all sorts of people getting attracted to each other. LGBTQs. There are lesbians, there are gays, there are bisexuals, there are transgenders, there are queers, so many kinds of people. All this classification is what? Is on the basis of my sexual attraction, whom I am attracted to sexually. That becomes the basis of classification. Whether you are a heterosexual, homosexual, you are a gay, you are a lesbian, etc., etc., etc. So, the whole point which is made in the Srimad-Bhagavatam is that the attraction, the lust, the forces of lust which create attraction between Pumsam, Sriyam, Midhuni Bhava. The attraction between a man and a woman in a general sense. Of course, in modern day world, we have to add all LGBTQs also. Whatever Midhuni Bhavam they are experiencing. The attraction due to lust. They are sexually attracted to a person of either the opposite sex or the same sex. So what is the basis? It is simply lust. So Pumsam Sriya Midhuni Bhavam Etam. Etam, this material word, is run, is driven simply by this force of lust. And this force of lust is making people act in various ways. So the primary way by which lust makes people act is Ado Grihas Kshetra Sutapta Vittaya. When a man and a woman or of any gender, they come together because of the force of lust, what happens? When they combine together and they satisfy their lusty desires, the hard knot gets tied. What is this knot? This knot is the attraction towards Adho Griha Kshetra Sutta Apta Vittaihi. Moment two people come together to satisfy their lust, first thing what is needed is Adho Griha. You need a house. You need a private place where you can enjoy the private affairs, confidential affairs between the two of you. The conjugal affairs between husband and wife, or any kind of living relationship, or any kind of partners. For that you need a private place. So a house is required. Either you have to rent a house, or you have to buy a house, or whatever, or you take a house on EMI, whichever way you have to have a place to stay, where you can have your private affairs. So if you have to have a house, if you have to buy a house, it doesn't end there. You also have to maintain it. So whether you buy a house or maintain a house, you need money. So you have to have a source of income. Ato Griha Kshetra. Kshetra means the source of livelihood. In the olden days, land used to be the main source of livelihood. You cultivate land, and from that, whatever produce you get, you trade it and you get some money in exchange. So modern day world, the methods may have changed. You may be into a professional service, you may be in IT industry, you may be a doctor, you may be an engineer, you may be a lawyer, whatever. So you need a profession. Why? So that you can maintain your house. And why do you need a house? So that you can have your private affairs with your partner. Asa Griha Kshetra. Now, the moment you have a house and you have a partner, and you have a source of income. It doesn't end there. Although you may be a gay, you may be a lesbian, still you want to have children. Children are also required, otherwise house is incomplete. 4 walls alone don't make a house. And 2 partners living with each other, how long they will tolerate each other, seeing each other's face. Sooner or later you will get fed up. So you have to have children. So although lesbians and gays cannot have children, they will undergo surrogacy, they will go and adopt someone. Some or the other you have to have children. That's the principle. And now when you have children, it doesn't end there. Sutra Apta, you have children, the children are growing up, they are very intelligent, they are learning, and the children are very cute. You have to show off. You have to have relatives. You have to have people to whom you can socialize with. And nowadays, of course, socialization has all become online. So you take pictures and put online, you see my kid, my kid did this today, my kid did that today. And then there are so many likes and so many emojis, heart emojis and all those kind of stuff going on. So why? Because you don't keep your child in the home, right? You want to show to the world that I have a child, such a beautiful child. And now to do all these things, vitta, wealth is required, lot of wealth is required. Not only for maintaining your home and your family, but also you have to save money for the future. When the child grows up, you have to have a good bank balance, you have to have a good future for the child, you have to earn wealth. Ato griha kshetra sutta apta vittaye. And all this is generating out of what? Out of a very fundamental sense of janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Out of the sense of aham and mama. I am this body and I am attracted towards this kind of person. Either I am attracted to the opposite sex or maybe person of the same gender. So what is this I? This body. This body is pushing me. Right now I got a man's body, I am thinking I am a man. Or if I get a woman's body, I am thinking I am a woman. And so whatever the body is pushing, the man's body pushes him to get attracted to a woman. And a woman's body pushes that person to get attracted to a man. Again, I am talking of the majority of the people. So what happens? That pushing of the body, we are thinking it is my desire. And then on the basis of that pushing of lust, what happens? We develop a relationship with others. Oh, I am this body. Now I have got bodily relation with another person. So that person is my husband. She is my wife. This is my child. These are my relatives. This is my country. This is my city. This is my language, etc., etc. All these things come out of the sense of aham mameti. I and mine. So this fundamental feeling of I and mine based on the body is called moha, illusion. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Why is it an illusion? It is a fact that right now I am a man and I am getting attracted to women and I have a wife, I have children, I have homes. These are all my people, my family members. Is this not true? Yes, it is true, but then problem is it will not last. After a few years, you have to die, your relatives also have to die, everybody has to die. And once you die, what happens to all those relations? Everything gone. Even the body which I am thinking, this is me. When I die, the body gets left behind. Whenever a person dies, what do we say? Oh, the person has left us and gone. Chhod ke chala gaya. He left us and went. So body is still there. That means body is there, but you have left it and gone. So when you die, even your body which you are in your lifetime, you are thinking it is you have to leave your body also and go. And then next lifetime, what happens? What kind of body you are going to get? Nobody knows. This lifetime I may be having a body of a man. Next lifetime I may be having a body of a woman. Then I will start thinking I am a woman. Or I may not be even fortunate enough to get a human form of body. I may get an animal body. Then I will start thinking I am a dog, I am a cat, etc. So that is also not permanent. Again, that's for a certain lifespan. After that, I will give that body also, go to another body. Like this, we are going on transmigrating from body to body. So, thinking that I and mine on the basis of a temporary body which I got in this lifetime is called illusion, because that's not my permanent identity. And so therefore, all the Vedic scriptures mention that if we have to become liberated from the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease, we have to give up this thinking that of I and mine on the basis of the body. Now the question comes, where did this propensity to think that I and mine, where did it come from? According to the Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna tell in the Bhagavad Gita? In the 5th chapter, Krishna says that, I think it is the 15th chapter, Krishna says, Ashwattham prahurabhyayam urdhamulam adashtakam. This material world is like an inverted tree. Inverted tree means roots are upward and all the branches are downward. Normally in this material world, whenever we see a tree or a plant, what happens? The root is going into the ground. And all the branches, leaves, twigs, they are all growing upward. Now Krishna is saying, Urdhva Moolam. There is a tree where the roots are upward. Other shakam, all the shakas, branches are going downward. So that kind of ashwatham, that kind of ashwatha tree, huge banyan tree, is compared to this material world. So this material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Why is there a reflection? Because where do we get to see a tree with its root upward and the branches downward? Whenever we go to a river bank, and on the bank of the river we see a tree standing with its root on the ground and the branches growing upward. You look into the water, you can see the reflection of the tree. Now the reflection of the tree in the water, how does it look? It looks the exact reverse. The roots are upward and the branches are downward. So this material world is said to be a tree with its root upward and the branches downward. Why? Because it is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Meaning, whatever conceptions people have in the spiritual world, they are reflected in the material world in a perverted way. Because of which, whatever we consider is very great in this material world, in the spiritual world, it is tuchcha, it is abominable. In this material world, we consider the attraction between two lovers is the greatest thing. Why do we have so much people talking about LGBTQs and their rights and all those kind of things? Because that attraction that two people possess for each other, that they experience for each other, whether they are of the same gender or opposite gender, that is very greatly valued in this material world. So if somebody has that kind of attraction, it has to be recognized, they have to be given rights, the government has to make policies favoring them, etc., etc., etc. Why? Because that force of lust, that attraction one feels for either the opposite or the same sex, he is considered the greatest thing in this material world. As Prahlad Maharaj also said, Pumsam Sriyam Viduri Bhava Vetam. This entire material world is driven by this force of lust. And so therefore people think this is the greatest thing. And that is why you will see any novel you take, any movie you take, anything you take, they will glorify this attraction between two lovers. And nowadays there are two different kind of people. One kind of people we should give entire freedom to two people. If they are in love with each other, you should give them full freedom. Whether they are same sex, opposite sex, minor, major, if they are of different religion, doesn't matter, give them full freedom. There is another set of people who are opposing them, saying that no, this is all immoral, you should not. And the people who are espousing freedom of expression of this kind of affection, they tell publicly also one should be allowed to express one's affection. So in some places they organize love fairs where couples can come together and kiss each other in public. So this is called a love festival. And there are some people who are opposing them, saying that no, this is all against our culture, tradition. It is not. We should not impose this Western culture upon us. And so these two people are always at loggerheads with each other. So public affection. Why affection cannot be shown publicly? So this is the whole point of contention. Why? Because two people are getting attracted to each other physically. You should allow them to express it, whether publicly, privately, it's all left to them. So you see how much people value this attraction between two people. That is the highest, the biggest thing. And they say people, two people are in love with each other. If parents are opposing, if on the basis of whatever, they have their own considerations. It may be cash, it may be other things. All this should not be there. Why? Because that love between two people who want to become partners is the greatest thing. If you have to give up your home, everything and go away, it is okay. So, if a boy and a girl, or for that matter, a girl and a girl or a boy and a boy fall in love with each other, and if the mother and father oppose, they will run away. And if the world comes to know of this, they will start chastising the parents. What kind of parents are you? You should allow them. You should give them full freedom. You have done the right thing by running away, etc. Now, if somebody says that I want to leave home and I want to dedicate my life for Krishna, they will say, how can you leave your parents and go? जो अपने बाप का नहीं हुआ वो किसका क्या होगा? And all these kind of dialogues will start coming. Same people, when two people, because of the force of lust, they want to give up their family, it is fine. But you want to give up your family for Krishna, it is not fine. So why? Because people in the modern day world, their thinking is this lusty attraction between two individuals, that is the greatest thing. It is beyond even the relationship or obligation that children have towards the parents. Whereas obligation the children have towards the parents, if it is for my spiritual life, that obligation towards the parents is bigger. But obligation towards your person whom you are attracted to is bigger than your obligation to your parents. So that is the topmost thing. Everything else is secondary. So you see, because people, so in the material world, this attraction between two individuals is considered the topmost thing. In the spiritual world, that attraction between a male and a female is the tuchha, is the most abominable thing. They are not interested in it at all. All the people, there are males and females in the spiritual world, and they are very beautiful, and they never grow old, and still they never become attracted physically towards each other. Their whole focus is Krishna. I am Krishna's part and parcel, and I have to serve him with love and affection. That's the only focus of all the people there. They have no attraction for the opposite sex. So you see how it's the reverse. And in this material world, so in the spiritual world, what is the lowest is becomes the highest here. Now, what is the highest thing in the spiritual world? Highest thing is, as in the Narada Pancharatra it is stated, Ananya Mamata, Vishnu Mamata, Prema Sankata. Ananya Mamata, Mamata means feeling of mind. This is mine, this person is mine. When I have a lot of love and affection for another person, I feel this is my person. Just like a mother feels lot of affection for her child. So she thinks this is my child. But in reality, nobody is nobody's child. Why? Because this lifetime, that body has taken birth from a woman, she thinks this is my child. But after some time, the woman also has to die, the child has also to die. So the bodies are gone. They take birth in some other family, then they start thinking, I am somebody, such and such person's child, I am so and so person's father, mother, etc. So, actually speaking, all these temporary relations we start identifying with ourselves. So, when our sense of love for somebody is very strong, we start thinking, this is my person, this is my child, this is my father, this is my mother, this is my husband, this is my wife. Now, if that affection is not there, what happens? Hey, I don't accept you as my father. Get lost. You are not my husband. Divorce. Go. I want to separate from you. So, you are my husband, you are my wife, you are my parents, you are my child, as long as there is loving affection between the two of them. So, this is called mamata, mine. This is my husband, this is my wife, this is my child. Now the Narada Pancharatra is stating, Ananya Mamata. that one has mamata towards nobody else. But Vishnu mamata. But one has great love and affection for Vishnu, Krishna, and one thinks Krishna is mine. Why? Because prema sangata, out of great love for Krishna. So this kind of mamata is considered bhakti ruchyate. This is called real bhakti. Bhakti ruchyate. Who is telling this? Who is telling that Ananya mamata and Vishnu mamata is actually bhakti? Bhakti ruchyate. Bhishma Prahlada Uddhavaihi. Bhishma, Prahlada, Uddhava and Narada, these people, these great personalities are stating that when one has no mamata for anybody else, Ananya mamata, and Vishnu mamata, one considers only that Krishna is mine, nobody else is mine, but only Krishna is mine. That is real bhakti. In this material world, to think that this is my husband, this is my wife, this is my lover, this is my partner, it is the highest thing. It is the reverse in the spiritual world. And if somebody thinks Krishna is mine and gives a home and goes, everybody starts criticizing. What's wrong with the fellow? Till yesterday, I know that boy is such a good boy. What happened to him? He's gone brainwashed that poor fellow. And look at him, he has left his parents and gone. So people think this is the lowest thing in this material world. But in the spiritual world, it's the reverse. Somebody has great affection for Krishna and no affection for anybody else, then that person is considered the topmost. So, if we want to become free from this illusion of aham mameti and this body and everything related to this body is mine, if I have to get out of that illusion, then it is possible only when Ananya mamata, we give up our mamata for all these things, my country, my religion, my language, my this one community, my family, my parents, my lover, my this, my that. You give up all those things. Ananya mamata and Krishna, Vishnu mamata. Krishna is the only my real possession. And we develop prema sangata, we develop loving affection for Krishna, not for another body. That can free us from illusion within this material world and liberate us from the temporary life of this world and give us permanent eternal life in a loving, happy, blissful relationship with Krishna. So, now how to develop that bhakti? What is the process? Because we have a problem. And whenever we have a problem, we try to find a solution. And once we have a solution, what do? We try to figure out a process by which we can implement that solution and solve our problem. Isn't it? Suppose today Pakistan is having a great economic problem and the people are fighting with each other for even basic ingredients like wheat and groceries. So what is the solution? Solution is that that country has to get foreign aid from somewhere. Okay, problem is there. Problem is that people are suffering for want of food. Solution is that you have to infuse foreign funds. Now, how to do that? Solution is there, problem is there. Now, if you want to solve that problem, if you want to bring that solution to solve the problem, you have to have a process. They have to go to the IMF, they have to apply there, they have to get international relief, the fund will be sanctioned, then the money comes in, then you have to distribute that money through. So there has to be a process which has to be built in. So now, problem for us is that we are in the bodily concept of life, thinking that I am this body and everything in relation with this body is mine. So what is the solution? Solution is Ananya mamata, I have to give up all this mamata, and Vishnu mamata, prema sangata, I have to develop loving relations with Krishna. So that's the solution. Now what is the process? How to do that? How to develop love for Krishna? How to develop Ananya mamata, whatever mamata I have for my country, for my nation, for my community, for my religion, for my family members, how to give all that and develop love for Krishna. How to do that? There is a process for that. What is that process? That will be described in the next class. So we will discuss that when we take up the next course, the next class. So I'll stop here. If anybody has any question or comment, you can. Yes, please.
We see that Lord appears. Lord does not appear alone. He appears with his associates and even his holy players appear same time God. So they are constructing Krishna Dwarka. So Dwarka also will be appearing along with them. So even previous class Prabhupada was telling you chant inside temple, not in class, Mangala Report was explaining. You chant inside temple, it will be 1,000 times effective. So this is same principle applied because temple is coming. So in all the aspects like offending a Vaishnava or doing sadhana, any other service, it will be 1,000 times effect. It will have an effect of 1,000 times same.
You mean to say that whatever service we do, if we do it in the temple, then it will have 1,000 times more effect? That's your question? Okay. You see, there are two things. One is one sadhana and the other is one service. When it comes to sadhana, sadhana is an aspect where we have to perform our sadhana in the accompaniment of other devotees. We can do sadhana all alone also. But we know in Kali Yuga, the people's, the humans' determination to engage in devotional service and to practice spiritual life is very, very weakened. The resolve is very weak. Unlike in the olden times. In the olden times, like Kardama Muni was living all alone in his ashram and he was practicing. He had no problem. He in fact had darshan of Lord Vishnu also. So, if you take the example of Dhruva Maharaj, 5-year-old boy, he went to the forest, meditated all alone on Dhruva Tila in Madhuvana, in Braj, and he had darshan of Lord Vishnu. So, in the olden times, people would practice their sadhana all alone and attain perfection. In Kali Yuga, because people's resolve, people's determination is very weakened, therefore, it is recommended that people live together and practice spirituality. So, chanting Hare Krishna has got the same effect wherever you do it, whether you do it alone or in accompaniment of others or in whatever condition, whether you do it in the forest, in the city, wherever. But in Kali Yuga, our brains are so weak that we become affected by these external environments. So, being in a city, a place of Rajoguna, if we try to practice chanting Hare Krishna and try to do our sadhana all alone, that force of Rajoguna will overpower us. So, that's why Prabhupada has established temples of Krishna where the effect of Satoguna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna do not exist. And therefore, when we do our sadhana in such a place, that will infuse us with the spiritual strength to be able to carry on our devotional service for the rest of the day. Now, what happens is, when it comes to devotional service, sadhana is one aspect. Now, when it comes to service, we are living in a material world where we are practicing spirituality. At the same time, we have not yet gone back to Golok Vrindavan, right? We are still in the material world and we still have a material body. So, we are right now in a combined situation where there is a combination of spirituality and materiality. Both things are combined. I have a material body and I have spirit soul, I am occupying this body. I am living in this material world and practicing spirituality. So there is a combination of material and spiritual aspects which cannot be separated at the present moment. So when I render devotional service, I will have to interact with the material world. In the case of sadhana, if I am doing it in the temple, there is no interaction with the material world. I am in a place where there is no influence of Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. I can peacefully do my sadhana. But when it comes to service, after my sadhana is over, morning Bhagavatam class is over, I have prasadam. After that what? After that I have to deal with the material world. Material body is there, so many requirements are there, I have to wash my clothes, I have to render, I have to, whatever service has been assigned to me, I have to carry out that service. And in that service we have to do anything. I want to go and preach to the boys in the college, I have to go to the college. Now college is not a temple. Now if I think, oh, college is a material place, I will sit inside the temple and whoever comes here, I will preach to him. Then how will the mission spread? How will we execute the orders of our spiritual master? So we have to go out and interact with the material world in our service. Prabhupada says that it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's special benediction that in Kali Yuga, because so much amount of mixing with material nature has to be there in spreading Mahaprabhu's mission, Mahaprabhu will give special protection to all of us who are dealing with material energy. So, in the case of devotional service, it doesn't matter whether our assigned service, whether we are doing it within the temple or outside, the effect will be the same. You understood? No? So, we have to understand it from that perspective. When it comes to sadhana, it is my personal time. It is a time where I don't have to, when I am sitting and chanting Hare Krishna mantra, I should not be interacting with the material world. I have to anyway shut out the material world and I have to simply hear what I am chanting. So that if you do it in the presence of the temple, then you have added benefit of being in an environment which is free from the influence of Sattva-guna, Raja-guna, and Tamo-guna. That's the import of, that's how we have to understand when Prabhupada says that when chanting, if you do it in the temple hall, we get 1,000 times more benefit. That doesn't mean that if I do my service within the temple hall, then it will have 1,000 times more effect. If I go outside this door and I preach to someone, effect comes down 1,000 times. It's not good. Understand?
So is it appropriate or right to tell people that if they visit our temple, it is equal to visiting Dwarka, and having darshan of the Lord here should be equal to having darshan of the Lord in Dwarka?
So why is Dwarka so important? Why is Dwarka considered a holy city? What is the importance of Dwarka? Because Krishna appeared there. Krishna rather not appeared. Krishna was there. Krishna lived in that place. Right? So wherever Krishna lives, that place becomes Dwarka, Vrindavan, Mathura. So whether we go to Dwarka or we go to Vrindavan or we visit any temple of Vishnu, it is any temple of Krishna, it is as good as visiting those holy places. At the same time, those holy places have a special significance. We can never say that, we can never reduce the significance of Dwarka or Mathura or Vrindavan. Saying that now I have built a temple of Krishna here, so Vrindavan, Dwarka and all, no need. No, it's not like that. Those holy places have a special significance because Krishna personally has manifested those places as replicas of those same places in the spiritual world. So they have their special significance. If we go to Vrindavan Dham and we practice spirituality there, definitely that has a good positive impact upon us. That's because here material is situated. If we are fully on the transcendental platform of Prema Bhakti, where we have full love and devotion for Krishna, our heart is full of bhava for Krishna, then it doesn't matter. Like Meera was sitting somewhere in Rajasthan, and whenever she would look at her Krishna's vigraha, Krishna's deity, she would immediately remember Giridhari, Krishna lifting Govardhan. So for her, that was as good as Braja. So for a person who is on the platform of Bhakti and Prema Bhakti, for him, wherever there is a temple of Krishna, it is not different from Vrindavan and Dwaraka and Mathura. But for us, because we are not on that platform, for us there is that distinction. So when if we go to a place of great historical significance like Mathura or Dwaraka, definitely there will be added spiritual advantage on account of that. Having said that, it doesn't mean that if I am staying in a temple far away from Dwaraka or Mathura or something like that, it doesn't mean that I'm spiritually losing something. It's not like that also. So whatever benefit I can get by practicing spirituality in Vrindavan, I can get by practicing in a temple sitting in Chennai also. And but then at the same time, if I get an opportunity to go to Vrindavan, so never Suhaga. It's like you have got a sandwich on top of that, you put butter also, and then either way you are eating sandwich. That's the order. Okay, we'll stop here. Granthara Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Guru Premanande Hari Hari Om.